आनंदे विह्वल मन करी हरी संकीर्तन नाना दान केले मनोबले येई मत भक्त तती तारयेर देशे स्थिती ताहा ताहा पाया मनोबले नाचे करे संकीर्तन आनंदे विह्वल मन दान करे ग्रहणी रछले ब्राह्मण सज्जन नारी नाना द्रव्य थाली भरी आयला सबे यौतुक लईया येन काचा सोना धृती देखी बालकेर मूर्ती आशीर्वाद करे सुख पाया सावित्री गौरी सरस्वती शची रंभा अरुंधती आरयत देव नारी गण नाना द्रव्य पात्र भरी ब्राह्मणेर वेश धरी आसी सबे करे दर्शन अंतरिक्ष देव गण गंधर्व सिद्ध चारण स्तुती नृत्य करे वाद्य गीत नर्तक वादन भाट नवद्वीपे चार नाट सबे आसी नाचे प्राय प्रीत केबा से केबा याय केबा नाचे केबा गाय संभालिते नारे कार बोल खांडिलेक दुःख शोक प्रमोद पुरीत लोक मिश्र हेल आनंदे विहवल आचार्य रत्न श्रीवास जगन्नाथ मिश्र पाश आसितारे करे सावधान कराईल जात कर्म याचील विधी धर्म तबे मिश्र करे नाना दान यौतुक पाइलो यत धरे वाचिल कत सब धन विप्रे दिल दान यतनर्तक गायन भाट अकिंचन जन धन दिया केले सबार माना श्रीवासेर ब्राह्मणी नाम तार मालिनी आचार्य रत्नेर पत्नी संगे सिंदूर हरिद्रा तेल खई कला नारी केल दिया पूजे नारी गण रंगे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय हो। ना बाकी के जो है वो नेक्स्ट टाइम में करूंगी, नेक्स्ट वीक में। नाउ ट्रांसलेशन। The full moon of Sri Gaurhari mercifully rose over Nadia, likened to the mountain Udaygiri from where the sun rises. As the universe was filled with the chanting of holy name of Sri Hari, the darkness of sinful life dissipated and the three worlds became jubilant. At the time, Sri Advaita Acharya in his own house in Shantipur stood up and began to dance, completely overjoyed, accompanied by Sri Haridas Thakur. He roared in the exhalation of Kirtan. No one knew why they were dancing. Seeing the lunar eclipse and laughing, Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur quickly arrived at the bank of Ganga, where in ecstasy they bathed under the vortex of the eclipse. Advaita Acharya distributed abundant charity to the Brahmana by the strength of his mind. Upon seeing the entire universe overflowing with joy, Haridas Thakur's heart was struck with wonder. Through his gesture, he expressed to Advaita Acharya, "Your jubilance is delighting my heart. It appears that some special fortune is upon us. Acharya Ratna Chandrasekhar and Srivas Thakur were also elated at heart. Arriving at Ganga, they bathed in her water with hearts overwhelmed with joy. They performed Hari Sankirtan and mentally distributed profuse amount of charity. In this way, devotees, sannyasis in various places wherever they happened to be, united with what had transpired. They danced in Sankirtan, their hearts overwhelmed with joy, and they distributed charity on the pretext of the eclipse. The Brahmana gentlemen and their wives all came with plates filled with gifts and various presentations, seeing the form of the newborn child, who was radiant like pure gold. They happily offered their blessings. Savitri, Ganga, Savitri, Gauri, Saraswati, Shachi, Ramba, Arundhati, and all other demigoddesses assumed the guise of the wives of Brahmana and filled vessels with various types of gifts. They all came there and beheld the child. In the sky, the demigods, Siddhas, Gandharvas, and Gacharanas offered prayers and danced to the accompaniment of musical instrumental and song. In Navadvip, dancers, musicians, minstrels, and other performers all came and danced in great delight. Who was coming? Who was going? Who was dancing? Who was singing? No one could understand, nor could they understand what anyone was saying. All sorrow and suffering melted away, and everyone became filled with joy. Seeing everything, Jagannath Mishra was overwhelmed with ecstasy. Acharya and Acharya Ratna and Srivas Thakur come to Jagannath Mishra and carefully help him perform the birth rituals. Thereafter, Jagannath Mishra distributed many types of charity. Whatever gift Jagannath Mishra had received and whatever he had in his house, he distributed all his wealth to the Brahmanas. He also honored all the dancers, singers, minstrels, and the poor by donating riches to them. The chaste wife of Srivas Thakur, named Malini, accompanied by the wife of Acharya Ratna, worshipped the baby with vermilion, turmeric, oil, puffed rice, bananas, and many other kinds of fruit in great delight. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो, कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय हो, चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय हो. Thank you, Prabhuji, for so wonderful seva. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Mataji. Samta Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So wonderful. Bhagavad Pranam to all. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Gita 2.51. Karmajan buddhi yukta hi phalam tyakta manishina janma bandha vinirmukta padam gachyati anamayam. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead. Yada te moha kalilam buddhirvyatitarishate tada gandashi nirvedam Shrotavyasya Shrutasya cha. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. Shruti vipratipanna te yada tasyati nishala samadha achala buddhis tada yogam avapsyasi. When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery languages of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. Arjuna Uvacha Sthita Pragnasya Kabhasa Samadhi Tasya Dhyasya Keshava Sthitadhi Kim Prabhasheta Kim Asata Vrajeta Kim. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak And what is his language? What does he, how does he sit and how does he walk? श्रीभगवान उवाच प्रजाहाति यदा कामन् सर्वान् पार्थ मनोगतम् अद्यापि एवत्मनः तुष्ट स्थितप्रज्ञास्तदोच्यते. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. Dukkheshva anudvignamana, sukkheshu vigata spruha, vitaraga bhaya krodha, stita dhir muniruchyate. One who is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, anger, is called a sage of steady mind. Ya sarva Ya sarvatra nabhineshas tattat prapya shubhashubham nabhinandati na dveshti tasya prajna pratishtita. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Yada samharate chayam कूर्मोऽज्ञानिव सर्वश इन्द्रा इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियर्थेभ्यस्तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects like the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinam रसवर्षं रसोऽपि यस्य param drishtva nivartate. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense of enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. Yatato hi api kaunteya purushasya vipashtita indriyani parmathini haranti prasabham manam. The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control it. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Thank you so much. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we will be doing a condensed form of Canto 4 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Before that we begin, we will do the Mangalacharan. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langhayate girim, yat kripatamaham vande, Shri Guru Dinataranam, Paramananda Madhavam, Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. I hope you can see the screen. Is my
Yes,
screen?
Mataji.
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Thank you very much. So
Yes, Mataji.
today we begin from where we left off last week. So in the third canto, there is a samvad of there is a conversation between Maitreya Rishi and Vidura, and in this fourth canto also the same conversation is continuing. So that is the continuation. Okay, now this canto, Maitreya Rishi is going to now describe the dynasty of Swayambhuva Manu, because earlier, what did he describe earlier in the third canto? We left off with also Swayambhuva Manu's daughter only, Devahuti, if you remember. So Swayambhuva Manu had 3 daughters and 2 sons, and so one of the daughter was Devahuti. So Devahuti's son was Kapila Dev, and we learnt the instructions of Kapila Dev, Bhagavan. So in this canto, Maitreya Rishi is going to describe the other dynasties or other children of Swayambhuva Manu. So to understand this easily, we have divided it into 4 sections. So one will be, number 1 is how Manu's daughters and Daksha's sacrifice. So Swayambhuva Manu's daughters, 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, Prasuti, and then Daksha's sacrifice. Then the second section we will concentrate on Dhruva Maharaj, who was the son of Swayambhuva Manu, that is son of Uttanapada. So Swayambhuva Manu had 2 sons, Uttanapada, Priyavrata. So today we will only discuss about Uttanapada and his dynasty. Then the third section, in the dynasty of Dhruva Maharaj only comes Raja Anga and Vena, and then Prithu Maharaj. We will discuss about them. And then in the fourth section, we're going to discuss about Prachina Barhi and Prachetas, also in the same dynasty. So let's begin with the section 1. So in the fourth canto, we have 2 parts. Fourth canto, part 1 and part 2. So in part 1, we are going to discuss about the 2 sections, section 1 and section 2. As already discussed, section 1, we are going to discuss about Manu's dynasty, Swayambhuva Manu. So in section 1, we have also divided it into 2 sections. That is part A, where we are talking about the dynasty of the Manu's daughters, and then part B will be Daksha's sacrifice. All right. So Manu had 3 daughters, right? Manu had 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. Now, Devahuti already we have discussed, but still we have not discussed the 9 daughters of Devahuti. We have discussed about only her son, which is Kapiladev. So today we'll discuss about a little bit about her daughters. Then, first daughter Akuti married the great sage Ruchi. Now, she married him, and Swayambhuva Manu gave his daughter on one condition, one very strange condition, you can say. What was that? It was that when they got their first son, they would give that son back to Swayambhuva Manu. That was the condition. And Sage Ruchi, he accepted, and then they got 2 children, like twins. That was one son and one daughter. That was Yajna and Dakshina. Yajna was a partial incarnation of Vishnu, and Dakshina was a partial incarnation of Lakshmi Devi. And as promised, Ruchi gave his son Yajna, to Swayambhuva Manu, back to Swayambhuva. And Swayambhuva Manu very well knew that this beautiful child, was actually a partial incarnation of Vishnu. So he gladly accepted Yajna. And because although they were born together, that is Yajna and Dakshina, although they were born together, but their original relationship was that of husband and wife, Vishnu and Lakshmi. And therefore, after they grew up, they were married. That is, Yajna and Dakshina were married. Because he was Vishnu's partial incarnation and Dakshina was partial incarnation of Lakshmi Devi. So that is the eternal relationship. Okay, so we cannot say how come they were born together and how come they got married, but because of the eternal relationship. Then we talk about Devahuti, and she married Kardama Muni, had 9 daughters. So we talked about Kapila Dev last week. So today we'll just discuss briefly about her 9 daughters, and that too the very important daughters. That is, the first daughter was Kala. She was married to Marichi. Now, why we are talking about this uh, daughter is because her children, Kashyapa and Purnima, are very important. Kashyapa, you already know, later on married the 13 daughters of Daksha Prajapati. Now, we should not get confused. Okay, here we are seeing that Prasuti, which is the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, is getting married to Daksha and having 16 daughters, right? So, we are not talking about those daughters. Daksha, because of his offense to Lord Shiva, which we will be discussing in today's canto, then had to take birth once again. And that his birth also we'll be discussing today towards the end of fourth canto. And when he takes birth again he marries Asikni, another wife, much later, many generations later, he will be born again. And he will marry Asikni. And that time he has 60 daughters. Out of those 60 daughters, 13 daughters were given to Kashyapa. So we should not get confused. All right. So Marichi had 2 sons, Kashyapa and Purnima. So out of this Purnima, he had 2 sons and 1 daughter, this Purnima. And out of these 2 sons and 1 daughter, that daughter was called as Devakulya. And now, why we are talking about this daughter? Because this daughter Devakulya is the one who washed the lotus feet of Vamanadev and then became Ganga when when she came down as Gangaji. So the next daughter we're talking about is Anasuya, also very important. Anasuya and Atri. So Anasuya and Atri had 3 celebrated sons, and by the grace of the Lord, Vishnu avatar was Dattatreya, and Brahma's avatar was Soma, and Lord Shiva's avatar was Durvasa Muni. So these are the 3 celebrated sons of Atri and Anasuya. Another third daughter of um, who we are talking about daughters now of Devahuti and Kardama Muni. Her name was Shraddha. She married Angira Muni, and they had so many daughters and 2 sons, 4 daughters, 2 sons, and one son of them was Brahaspati. So I'm only talking about the important sons so that we remember who is who. Another daughter, Havirbu, was married to Pulatsya. Now, Pulastya Muni. His son was um, Vishrava, and we know Vishrava. Vishrava married Idavida, and their son was Kubera, and we are going to discuss about Kubera also today. And Vishrava also married another Kaikashi. Some people say here it's mentioned in Bhagavatam as Keshini, and Keshini married Keshini and gave birth to 3 sons: Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhisha. Then Another daughter was Gati, who married Pulaha, and then they gave birth to three great sages. So Kriya married Kratu, and they gave birth to 60,000 Valakilyas. So we know those great sages who were like very tiny, like the size of the thumb, like that, Valakilyas. Then Urja or Arundhati, she married Vashishta. So they had seven great sages, that is the Saptarishis. So every we should remember that every Manu, in the course of every Manu, that is 71 yuga cycles of every Manu, they have separate Indra, separate Saptarishis, like that. Separate every Indra is a post, Saptarishi is a post, like that. So then they will fill up with different personalities. So anybody knows who is the Indra present? Indra who is from Vaivashvata Manu, who is the Indra now? Anybody knows? The name of the Indra. Okay, Indra is Indra, but Indra is a post. Like Brahma is a post, like that. So the present Indra's name is Purandara. So like that. Next Indra will be, anybody knows? Next Manvantra Indra will be
I think Bali Maharaj will
Bali
be
Maharaj. Yes, correct. So now is Purandara. Next Indra will be Bali Maharaj. And in this Swayambhuva Manu's era, do you know who was the Indra? Yajna. We learned about Yajna just now. Yajna was Akuti and Ruchi's son, right? Yeah. So he was the Indra at that time. He was a partial incarnation of Vishnu. Then Chitti or Shanti married Atharva, and they had Ashvashira as their son. Then Khyati and Bhrugu. Now we're talking about Bhrugu Muni. You know Bhrugu Muni, very, very, very famous. Khyati married Bhrugu Muni, and in their dynasty came Shukracharya. So we've seen today how Shukracharya and Brihaspati came in in their dynasty. So this is how we have just discussed about the daughters of Devhuti. Then Prasuti married Daksha. Akuti married Ruchi, Devhuti married Kardama, Prasuti married Daksha. And they had 16 daughters. Now, 16 daughters, they were given to, 13 of them were given to Dharma, one was given to the Pitas, and one was given to the Agni. Swaha was given to Agni. Then the Shraddha, Maitri, and all those 13 daughters were given to Dharma, and then Swadha was given to the Pitas, and then the last daughter, which was Sati, most favorite of Daksha Maharaj, was given to Shiva. So we are going to talk about the Daksha sacrifice today. How Daksha was not at all happy about with this marriage, although he gave because of Sati's insistence that she wanted to marry Lord Shiva. Daksha was not at all happy, and he just considered Shiva as his son-in-law. Is just like a ordinary person, but Shiva was not an ordinary person, right? And then he had a big huge sacrifice, and in that sacrifice when he came, uh, Brahmaji was there, Lord Shiva was there, everybody was there seated, and everyone got up except Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. But he took this as an offense from Lord Shiva, saying that how come he did not rise? He's my son-in-law, and I will curse him because he did not rise from his seat. I will not give him any more oblations, because every demigod will have an oblation after the yajna is performed. So he said, I will not give him any oblations. And then Nandi was so furious. Nandi is the Vahana of Lord Shiva. He's very furious, and he cursed Daksha and all Daksha's followers. He also cursed the Rishi and Munis who were doing the sacrifice. And then Bhrugu Muni got, and he told them that you all will become materialists. Bhrugu Muni was very upset because he was also doing the sacrifice. So in turn, he cursed Lord Shiva's followers. And this way, curse and counter curse happened during that sacrifice. Then that was over. But then later on, Daksha was very, very inimical towards Lord Shiva. He did not give any kind of oblations during his yajnas to Lord Shiva. So once he was doing a very great sacrifice, and Sati told Lord Shiva that, see, all my sisters will be there and everyone will be there. I also would like to go and put on all kinds of nice dress and makeup, and I would also like to go and attend the sacrifice. But then Lord Shiva, he cautioned her. He said, see, if you go, you are the one who is going to get all kinds of problems there, because you will not be welcome. So please try to, you will be neglected by your father. So you please try to understand and don't go, because your father doesn't like me. He is going to show that on you. But then she refused to listen to Lord Shiva, and she thought that it's my father's yajna and I have to go, even if I'm not invited. And then when she went there, sure enough, her father neglected her. And then, because of that neglect, she felt, although her mother and her sisters were very nice to her, but because she felt that her father and no one else was like bothered and was neglecting her, although, and there was no oblations for Lord Shiva. The moment she saw this, she was furious and she condemned that, how is it that I'm born of you? And I do not want this body. Whenever Lord Shiva addresses me as Dakshayani, I feel so bad. So I don't want this body of you, from whom I have been born. So I'm going to immolate myself. And by yogic power, she self-immolated herself. And in this way, when Lord Shiva comes to know, he gets so angry because nothing can be done now. And when actually she was being accompanied by Nandi and so many other ghostly followers of Lord Shiva, who tried to attack the people over there and the yajna sacrifice, who were involved in all this. But because Bhrigumuni was also there, he created the ribus, and the ribus, from the sacrifice he put a mantra and created the ribus, and the ribus were destroying all these followers of Lord Shiva. So they ran away and they came and complained to Lord Shiva. See what happened. Then Lord Shiva gets so angry because he's lost his consort, and then he creates a ferocious demon, Virabhadra, who goes and who destroys the sacrifice, beheads Daksha. So Daksha is killed, and he puts the Daksha's head inside the fire. That's burnt. So can't be done, can't be brought back to life. So then Lord Brahma comes, then he appeases Lord Shiva, and then Lord Shiva gets appeased and he says, okay, um, I will redo something. So he gives Daksha a goat head. The goat was to be sacrificed, and that goat's head only is given to Daksha. So Daksha gets a goat head. And finally, Daksha now realizes his mistake. He realizes who actually Lord Shiva is. And then he prays to Lord Shiva, and then the sacrifice is completed. Lord Vishnu appears, and then Lord Vishnu also cautions Daksha, see, should not offend Vaishnavas like this. He's a Param Vaishnava. You cannot do this. And later on, um, Sati is reborn as Parvati, and she gets married to Lord Shiva. So this happens, and then now we go to the next section. In the next section, there's a very wonderful description I would like to read about how from Brahma only irreligion also takes birth. From the back side of Brahma, irreligion takes birth, and falsity. So irreligion marries falsity, and then Dambha and Maya, that is bluffing and cheating, they are born. Then they marry each other. Then Lobha and Niritti, they are born. That is greed and cunningness. They marry each other. Then Krodha and Himsa are born. That is anger and envy. Then they marry each other. Then Kali and Durukti are born. that is, Durukti means harsh speech. They marry each other, then Mrityu and Bhiti, that is, death and fear are born. And they marry each other, then Yatana and Niraya, or excessive pain and hell, is born. So these are all unfavorable elements for bhakti, and they are all the family members of Adharma, and they are born from Brahmaji itself. So, after which, in the 8th chapter, the discussion about Uttanapad, who is one son of Swayambhuva Manu. So, we saw the three daughters. Now, we are going to see the one of the sons of Swayambhuva Manu. He had two sons. Priyavrata we'll see in the next canto. Here we are talking about Uttanapad. So, in Uttanapad was the son of Swayambhuva Manu, and he had two wives, Suruchi and Suniti. So from childhood, we've been hearing about this stepmother story, how the stepmother doesn't ill-treats the stepson, and this kind of things. So Suniti was the wife of
All are able to hear?
No, no, not able to hear.
No, Mataji.
No issue, some network
No,
issue maybe,
Mataji.
huh?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, we are not able to hear. I hope she has realized this. Let me give her a reading. She's not picking up the phone also, but her name is showing in the list. That means she is not logged up. She won't know that we are not able to hear. Let us wait for some time. Yes, now she will log on again. No, she is not picking up the telephone also. I hope the internet gets all right at her end. I have just one announcement. That is, please see Charu Prabhuji's his communication. He has requested all devotees who are attending the classes, that is, the next weekend, day one will be the class on Srimad Bhagavatam, and day two will be the class on Yoga Sutra. That time on day one, when lesson three you will be covering, you are required to read the chapters 1 to 7 in Canto 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam. You should read Srimad Bhagavatam of Srila Prabhupada, and he has already sent the PDF also, the complete book PDF. It contains the 19 chapters. Out of that, 1 to 7 you are required to read. And if you do that, then the understanding will be much better. So that is the message I am giving you. Please go through the Charu Prabhuji's slides also. He is telling us first regarding sages of Naimisharanya, dialogue between Suta Goswami and Suta and the sages headed by Sonakroshi, then message of Bhakti, and then the various avatars, then Vyasa's work, then the story of Narada, then the aftermath of the Mahabharata war. You are required to read till chapter 7, so that it is very clear. The class will be very clear, because based on this, you will not be covering all these things. You will be covering something else, or in a very brief, you will be covering. But if you already go through them, you will be benefited. So that is the message. Let us see if when Archana Mataji comes back online again. Till then, we can have some kirtan.
समता माता जी, आपको करना है तो प्लीज, समता माता जी.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Mataji.
yeah,
Okay,
Sharpati,
तो मैं
I just question. Meanwhile, let them get ready. So all this pastime like Akuti and all those things, where did it happen? Because we learned that Earth, the planet, was just brought up, right? And did it happen to this planet, or it happened to Bhurloka somewhere, Swargaloka?
No, it happened after the Earth planet was lifted by the Lord in his Varaha avatar.
But did it happen on this our earthly planet, or it have, because somewhere we hear that not only Earth, along with Earth, that Bhurloka also together, right? Something. I
When Brahma created the secondary creation, these 14 locals, they were created only.
Hmm. So this Manu's, what all those things we are talking about, those all those pastime happen on this earthly planet. That's my question.
Actually, in this earthly planet where we are staying,
Yes.
yes, yes, they are also jivas.
Hmm. Okay, Prabhuji. So let's go ahead with the kirtan. Thank you.
Yes, Raksha Mataji, you can start the kirtan till
हाँ.
Mataji joins.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I'm doing Ohe Vaishnava Thakur Dayar Sagar from Saranagati by Bhakti Vinada Thakurji. ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा करी दिया पद छाया शोध है हमारे तुम्हारा चरण धरी
Internet issue at your end.
ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा करी दिया पद छाया शोध है
Sanjay Prabhuji to do something.
तुम्हारा चरण धरी क्षय वेगदमी क्षय दोष शोधी क्षय गुण देह दासे क्षय सतसंग देह अमरे बोशीचे संगेर आशे ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा करी एकाकी आमर नाही पाय बल हरि नाम संकीर्तने तुम्ही कृपा करी श्रद्धा बिंदू दिया देहो कृष्ण नाम धाने ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा करी कृष्ण से तुम्हारा कृष्ण दीते पार तुम्हारा शक्ति आछे आमी तो कंगाल कृष्ण कृष्ण बोली थाई तव पाछे पाछे ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा करी ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा करी। श्री भक्तिवेदांत ठाकुर की जय हो। नंद प्रणाम to all devotees.
Sanjay Prabhuji, can you hear me? Sanjay Prabhu, he is not attending the phone. Mataji is not able to join in. There is some technical problem coming up. Sanjay Prabhuji, can you hear me? Sanjay Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Sanjeev Prabhu is not in the class.
Hey, he is the host. He must be away from the screen. But he is not picking up the telephone and there is some technical issue.
Yeah, he's there. He's there.
No, he is not picking up the phone also. Maybe authorized someone as a host, then that could have been resolved because the control is with him. Hmm.
May I continue with Kirtan one more?
Yes, Mataji, आप continue करिए.
Okay, okay. Hari bol.
Let us rejoin.
Samta Mataji want to do? Anyone? Or Nilima Mataji? Okay,
Mataji, you may continue, please.
okay, okay. No problem. Now I'm doing Narottam Das Thakur Kruz. Ei bar karuna karo.
I think mother is back. Mother, she's back.
Well, very good then.
Yes, Mataji has logged in now.
Hare Krishna. Sorry about it. The internet issues, as well as I joined in from another laptop.
Okay, okay.
I think something is wrong with this. Not allowing me to enter. So anyway, let's continue. Sorry for the interruption. So we are now talking about Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj was very upset that his father would not allow him to sit on his lap, and his mother spoke very insulting words, saying that you cannot sit on your father's lap because you are not born from my womb. So you have to go and first make yourself qualified so that you can sit on your father's lap by in your next life be born in my womb. Then only you can sit. And this insulting word, Suruchi said to the little boy Dhruva, who was only 5 years old. Then Dhruva Maharaj was so upset, so angry, breathing very heavily. He went to his mother Suniti, and Suniti was so sad when she heard this, and she also was very angry with what had happened. And then she told her son that what you should do is you should go to the forest and look out for Vishnu, and he will only help you. There's no one else can help you. And hearing this, little child Dhruva, he set off to the forest. On the way, he met Narad Muni, and Narad Muni saw this little boy with so much determination going to the forest. So he tried to dissuade him. He said, "See, there are so many jungly animals there, and they were ferocious animals who can even eat you up. You're so small. Why don't you grow up a little bit? After that, you may do this." But Dhruva Maharaj, he told him, "My dear sir, I cannot listen to your preaching because right now my mind is very disturbed. If you want to help me, just tell me how I can reach Vishnu." So Narad Muni then gives him the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tells him, you just chant this mantra, and by chanting this mantra, gradually you will be one day able to see Vishnu. So that he got his guru, that is Narad Muni. Then Dhruva Maharaj also is guided by Narad Muni to go to Madhuvan, which is in Rajbhumi. So he goes to Madhuban, and there he starts doing his tapasya. And after doing tapasya, within he does very severe tapasya. First, he eats only fruits every third day. Then he starts eating only fallen leaves every sixth day. Then only water every ninth day. Then he becomes so expert at breathing. So once in every 12 days, he will breathe in and breathe out like that. And then because of this severe austerity, the entire universe was ablaze, and then nobody could breathe in because of Dhruva Maharaj. And therefore, they all went to Vishnu and said, "Please do something. Your little devotee is really uh, having a lot of effect on the universe." Then the Lord immediately guessed what had happened, and he came and gave his darshan to Dhruva Maharaj. And Dhruva Maharaj saw the Lord within his heart all the time. He was getting darshan of Paramatma within his heart, and suddenly when the Paramatma darshan disappeared from his heart, immediately he was feeling so much remorse. And when he opened his eyes, he saw the Lord in front of him, and he was so happy to see the Lord, and he was so bewildered because he was 5 years old. And then he wanted to pray, he wanted to offer nice, beautiful prayers to the Lord. But then he was so small and he didn't even have the qualification to offer prayers. And at that time he was lost. And the Lord understood what was going on in his mind. And he blessed him by putting his conch shell on his head. And instantly Dhruva Maharaj composed wonderful prayers. And he told the Lord that I was looking for pieces of glass when you were like a jewel are in front of me, and I was asking for a kingdom greater than my father's. I was really bewildered, and I did not take my spiritual master Narad Muni's words to heart. So this is my folly. Then Dhruv Maharaj was benedicted by the Lord like anything. The Lord was so pleased, so happy with him. He said, first of all, I will grant you whatever you desired, and also I will grant you much, much more than that. So first he said, 36,000 years you will rule the kingdom of your father, which is Uttanapad's kingdom, which is almost the entire universe. And then you will be promoted to the spiritual world. That is Dhruvaloka. I have made a planet for you, especially Dhruvaloka. So pole star, as it is called. All the planets are moving around the pole star. They're all moving around the pole star. All the luminaries in the sky, they're moving around the pole star. And so you will live in the planet Dhruvalok or the pole star. That is until the end of this entire universe. So that means even the entire universe is inundated sometimes at the end of the day of Brahma, but Dhruva planet is not inundated. It is nothing but Vaikuntha, a part of Vaikuntha, which is there. As you know, the Kshiratsagar is also there, and Kshirodakshai Vishnu is also in that area only. He is also in that area. So the whole planet is nothing but Vaikuntha there. So Dhruva planet or the pole star. So Dhruva gets this benediction. Then Uttanapad, Narad Muni goes and sees that Uttanapad is very distressed. Then he goes and tells Uttanapad that don't worry. Because how long did Dhruva Maharaj, how long did that little Dhruva meditate? Only 6 months. Within 6 months, he got the darshan of Vishnu. So when he went and he told Uttanapad, Narad Muni, he said, your son, don't worry, don't. Uttanapad was so distressed and he was saying, what did I do? What did I do? My little child just wanted to come and sit on my lap and I didn't allow him. And what a father I am. And he was like this. Then Narad Muni said, don't worry, your child, nothing is wrong with him. And he's about to return very soon. And hearing this, Uttanapad was very happy. He understood that Dhruva Maharaj has already finished his tapasya and is achieved whatever he wanted to achieve, and he is going to come back. Just by hearing this, he took the whole party. Even Suruchi was feeling bad. So Suruchi, Suniti, Uttama, all sat on the chariot, and Uttanapad, everybody sat on the chariot, and they all went to pick up Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj was coming from the forest and his father was waiting for him. And they immediately picked up his child. When he saw him, Dhruva Maharaj came running to him, he picked up his child and he was so happy. He was brought him back with so much of honor, and the entire kingdom of Uttanapad was very, very happy, and there were so much of festivities going on. And this way, Uttanapad brought back Dhruva Maharaj, and Dhruva Maharaj started ruling. When Dhruva Maharaj became a little older, Uttanapad gave the entire kingdom to Dhruva Maharaj, and he retired. When he retired, Dhruva Maharaj was ruling the entire kingdom. And once, what happened? Uttama went alone to the forest, and he got killed by one Yaksha. Yaksha killed him. Who is Yaksha? Yaksha are the subjects of Kubera. We just heard about Kubera just a little while ago, right? Kubera subjects were the yakshas, and one of the yaksha killed Uttama. And meanwhile, you know that Uttama was not yet married, but Dhruva Maharaj already had married and had children. So Dhruva Maharaj, when the moment he heard Uttama was killed by the yakshas, immediately so angry, he took his chariot and he followed where he was killed. And at that time, his mother, that Uttama's mother, Suruchi, she also went mad because her son was killed, and she went into the forest, and there was a forest fire, and she also died. So Dhruva was very shattered, and he went there, and he was uh, trying to kill the yaksha. Who was the yaksha who killed my brother? So he started slaughtering the yakshas. The yakshas are very powerful and people who are also know magical arts. They have these. So just a minute. I'm sorry, I didn't share the screen, but I can't share the screen now. I'm sorry about it. I can't share the screen. I will send the. I will send a link to you all, the Word file later on for reference. But right now I'm unable to share the screen because I'm using another laptop. So Dhruva Maharaj is slaughtering the yakshas, and the yaksha suddenly disappears. So they thought that, oh, Dhruva Maharaj thought, okay, all the yakshas have surrendered, they have gone back. So, but he had a little doubt because yakshas are not known to be like, fly. So after some time, he saw so much things was falling from the sky, and like pus and blood and all that was raining down, and there were also arrows and all. And then he thought that the yakshas have not yet surrendered. And then he took his Narayanastra and he shot. And in this way, there were millions of yakshas actually, and one little Dhruva Maharaj, but he could defeat the yakshas. And he saw that the yakshas were being killed in thousands and thousands. And when the Narayanastra destroyed all the magic of the yakshas, and then Dhruva Maharaj could kill them, this was happening. And then Manu, Swayambhuva Manu himself, came down and told his grandson, my dear child, you have killed enough yakshas. By just for one yaksha you have killed, who has killed your brother, you have killed enough of them. So now you please calm down, because you are also angering, means you're making your Kuvera, who is the leader of the yakshas, you're making him angry. So you better don't do this. And Dhruva Maharaj, he immediately stops fighting. And Kubera is very pleased. He comes and he blesses Dhruva Maharaj, gives him so many gifts. And this is how this thing is over. Then after ruling the kingdom for 36,000 years, Dhruva Maharaj, he renounces, he goes to Badrikashram and he wants to meditate on the Lord. So at the end of his life, Dhruva Maharaj, because in those days, each person could live for 100,000 years, isn't it? That was the Satyuga period. So he, at the end of his life, the airplane came for him, and then Sunanda and Nanda, who were the doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, they themselves came to pick him up. So when he was going to climb the chariot which had come for him, Death personified came there, and he took the chance of putting his foot on Death personified's head and ascending to the chariot. And in this way, Dhruva Maharaj sat on the chariot. As soon as he sat on the chariot, he said, but my mother, I want my mother also to come. And then the Nanda Sunanda showed him, you see, your mother's plane is already going so ahead, so you can happily come. And in this way, Dhruva Maharaj goes to Dhruva Loka. So that is the Dhruva Maharaj. And then we go to the part 2 of fourth canto. In this, we have two sections. One section is talking about Anga, Vena and Prithu Maharaj. So we'll talk about that first. Anga, he came in the dynasty of Dhruva Maharaj. And then Anga did not have children. So he did this yajna. And in this yajna, he got this payas and he gave it to his wife. And in this way, she conceived and she got this child called Vena. Now, this Vena was a very wicked child from the beginning. And he was so wicked, he would even kill his playmates while playing. So when they're playing, if he loses, that's it. Then the person who is playing with, he kills him. That's the end of the game. So this is how he grew up. And when he grew up, Anga was feeling so bad that my child, he punished him in so many ways, but he could not. He could not reform his child. So what he did, he said, it's better that I just go away to the forest. So one night he just, without letting anyone know, he just disappeared. He just went to the forest and retired. I said, I can't do anything with this son like this of mine. And then Vena, because there was nobody else, so taking the permission of the mother, then the queen, Vena was ascended to the throne. The moment he came to the throne, all the rogues and thieves and all, they all were hiding. They didn't come out at all because he was the biggest rogue and thief. So he was so bad that he will command everyone to worship him just like Hiranyakashipu did. He told the sages, why are you wasting your time on these demigods? What are they giving you? I am the one who is supplying everything. I am the king, and the king is like the God himself. So you have to worship me and not them. And this way, the rishis and the sages, they got so angry with Vena that just by their mantras, they killed him. But after killing him, they saw that the entire country was full of the thieves and rogues again. They were all back again because there was nobody to put Ankush on them. So they were back again. So then the sages would then what should we do? Then this Anga from the Dhruva dynasty, the Sivan has come down. So this is a very powerful, we have to get a child from this dynasty itself. So how to do that? Then in those days, the mother had preserved the body of Vena in the oil. So what did the sages do? They took the body of Vena and then they churned the body. So they churned his thighs. So from that, one dark entity appeared. But he was very, Bahuka was his name, and he was very submissive. So they told him that you go to the forest and you have your own race, and that is called a Nishada race. So then they churned arms of the body of Vena. When they churned the arms of the body of Vena, two personalities appeared. One was the male, who is called Pruthu, and a female called Archi. So Pruthu and Archi were partial incarnations again of Vishnu and Lakshmi. And in this way, they were married, and they were King Pruthu and Queen Archi. They were crowned, and then all the demigods and the oceans and the mountains and every personality you can think of came for this coronation, and they gave wonderful gifts to Prithu Maharaj. And in this way, the professional reciters also came, and they started glorifying Prithu Maharaj, and they were saying that you are like this, you are like that, you have done this, you have done that. Prithu Maharaj says, stop. I have just come. I have not even done anything. How can you glorify me like this? But then they were already being told by the sages that this is what Prithu Maharaj is going to do. He's an incarnation of Vishnu, and so he is going to do all these things in future. So you please sing. And so they began singing again. So in this way, they were glorifying the Prithu Maharaj. But then the Prithu Maharaj saw that his subjects were becoming very lean and thin, and they were not having enough to eat. So he started chasing the earth because she refused to supply grain. Then the earth said that stop. Actually, whatever seeds Brahmaji had seen within me are actually, I have kept them safe, but only because very notorious kings were there ruling, and therefore they would not come out. So now what you have to do is, I have taken a form of shape of a cow. So you bring some cow in front of me, and you can milk me, and you can take whatever you want. So every personality brought their own kind of cows, and they took the milk from the earth as in form of grains, in form of herbs, in form of demigods. They came, they took some somaras, the demons came, they took all kinds of liquor and all that. So whatever each one wanted, they took from the cow shaped mother earth in the form of milk. So in this way they obtained all the grains and all, and the people in Prithu Maharaja's kingdom were very, very happy. Then they all fulfilled their desires, and this is how Prithu Maharaj then ruled mm, ruled the earth. And in that time, he wanted to make 100 Ashwamedha Yajna, the horse sacrifice. So when he wanted to do that, he did 99, and each Ashwamedha Yajna, the Lord will himself come and give benedictions. And Prithu Maharaj was doing this, and Indra, he did not want Prithu Maharaj to do his 100th Ashwamedha Yajna. Indra is always doesn't want to jeopardize his position. So Indra, he comes and in the form of a sannyasi sadhu, and he tries to steal the horse. So Prithu Maharaj's son tries to follow him, but looking at his Veshabhusha, that is, he's like a sannyasi, so he doesn't kill him and he comes back. Atri Muni sees this and he says, Are, what are you doing? Go behind him. He's the one. He's Indra only. He's just uh, donned this dress of sannyasi. He's not a sannyasi, he's Indra. You go and kill him. So he runs again. The son, he tries to kill him, and immediately Indra disappears. He puts the horse there and he goes off. So he brings back the horse. This happens 2-3 times. So, and when this is happening, the Lord himself, he comes and, Brahmaji comes and tells Prithu Maharaj, you see, you should desist from doing this. You cannot kill Indra, right? Uh, Brahmaji says. Then Prithu Maharaj says, okay, I will desist from doing my 100 sacrifice if that is the case. If Indra is not supposed to be disturbed because his position is his position, should not be disturbed. So, okay, I will stop this sacrifice. At that moment, the Lord himself, Lord Vishnu comes and followed by Indra. Indra is also coming behind Vishnu. And Indra also falls at the feet of Prithu Maharaj. And Lord Vishnu says, you should understand that uh, Indra and you are non-different. Now, why do we say this? See, this is one of the shlokas from the Srimad Bhagavatam, where it says that Indra and you are non-different. Why? Because in this Swayambhuva Manu's era, who is Indra? Yajna, isn't it? Yajna, who is Yajna? Is a partial incarnation of Vishnu. And who is Prithu Maharaj? Also partial incarnation of Vishnu. So therefore, Lord Vishnu is saying that you both are non-different. You are my incarnations only. So you should not fight amongst yourself. Why have you come? I have come as Prithu because I want Prithu to rule very nicely and take care of his subjects. That is his department. So you please do what you have come here for. And in this way, Prithu Maharaj embraces Indra, and in this way, everything is settled. So then Prithu Maharaj is instructing his citizens that what you should do devotional service. You should please the Lord. And these are the instructions of Prithu Maharaj in chapter number 21. So, Prithu Maharaj then tells them to follow Varnashram Dharma and how they should serve the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. So this is the instructions of Prithu Maharaj to the citizens. So the citizens are glorifying him. As they are glorifying him, the four effulgent Kumaras, they descend, they arrive. They come. Then Sanat Kumar, then he is advising Prithu Maharaj that you should serve, how he should serve the Lord in the heart, how he should serve the Lord in the heart, and how he should take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, and how he can overcome all kinds of dangers. And in this way, what does Prithu Maharaj do? He offers his entire kingdom to them. So generally, it's like that. Even if the king offers, like it happened in the Lord Ram's assembly also, he offered everything to Vashishta, and Vashishta offered back to him. Like that, they offered. That's how the king does. He's so full of gratitude for what information, what instructions, what knowledge they have given to me. What can I give him? I can give them the entire kingdom. In this way, Sanat Kumar gives them the entire kingdom. So then, much later, when Prithu Maharaj is now about to leave his body, so he goes to the forest along with his wife Archi, and he performs Ashtanga Yoga in a very perfect manner. And in this way, he fixes his mind on Krishna, and he goes back to Vaikuntha. And along with his wife also falls in the fire, and she also goes back to Vaikuntha with. Then we come to the last section, that is Prachina Barhi and the Pracheta. So this is how Prachina Barhi is also, or Barishman, or so many names we can call him by. And he was a very great king in the dynasty of Dhruva Maharaj also. So, so he was having 10 sons, the Prachetas. And when the 10 sons were born to him, and they were slightly grown up, then he tells the Prachetas that now you have to increase the population of this earth. So you have to beget children. So then what they did, they said, yes, father, and they went to perform austerities. So then the Prachetas, they went to perform austerities. Uh, this is how it was in those days, you know. You beget children means they will not just get married and start populating, but they will first go and do austerity. So they went, and they saw a beautiful lake was surrounded by flowers, and such beautiful bumblebees and beautiful birds and trees. So this huge lake. So when they went there, they first met Lord Shiva there. Lord Shiva said, I know why you have come here. You want to do austerities in the waters of this lake. So you take from me this mantra. I will teach you the Rudra Gita. And in chapter 24 is the beautiful Rudra Gita. And it's mentioned there that Lord Shiva says that anyone who chants this Rudra Gita every day will surely attain the lotus feet of Krishna. So then the Prachetas, they went underwater in this lake, and for 10,000 years they were chanting this Rudra Gita. So at this time, when they were doing this, the 10,000 years, Narad Muni goes to their father. Who is their father? Prachina Barhi. So Prachina Barhi goes, Narad Muni goes there, and he tells Prachina Barhi, he looking at him, oh my God, this king is full of karma kanda. He's simply killing animals and doing sacrifice, killing animals, doing sacrifice. What is he doing, you know? So he wanted to preach to him. So he goes, and Narad Muni decides nothing can stop him. So when Narad Muni says, you see in the sky, you see all these animals, they're all waiting for you to die. Once you die, they're going to come with their iron horns, you know, horns which are made of iron. They will come and they'll poke you, and they will give you so much of pain, so much of yatana, because you have what you have done. You have just done karma kanda. You just want to kill them so that you can go back, ascend to the heavens, or you can get good results. So I'm going to tell you one story. So he's going to tell him a story, what happened in the past of Puranjana. So now Puranjana story is an allegorical story. There is no actual Puranjana, but by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, the Puranjana story is a very long story. But if you just hear the story, you will not understand what's happening. You can just take it as a story, But just like Prachina Bali, when he heard it from Narad Muni, he thought it was just a story. And he was not, at the end of the story, he said, I didn't understand. What are you talking about? So then in the next chapter, Narad Muni will explain to him. So he was going to talk about who is Puranjana, and Puranjana means Puranjana, Pura means city, right? And Jana means a person. So a person who is embodied in the city, that is of our body, that is uh, soul. Soul is embodied in the body, right? So that is called Puranjana. So Puranjana is actually means the soul, and this body is made of 9 gates. So actually, Puranjana, one personality as a king here, it's called as a king. He is looking for a residence. He wants to search for a nice residence. Just like a soul goes up and down in this 14 planetary system, so many different species and millions of species and all, and then he comes and into a human form of life. Like that, Puranjana also is going looking like a king. He's looking everywhere, looking for a nice residence. Then he sees, oh, this city of 9 gates. The city of 9 gates is what? The human body. So, like that city of 9 gates is very beautiful. I will occupy this city. And he occupies this city. Puranjana is the soul and the city is the body, right? And he lived with his wife, his very beautiful wife. And that beautiful wife is actually uh, we can call it as material intelligence. So, we have an intelligence, or every one of us has intelligence. So the intelligence is the one who keeps us under control. So like that, the wife will keep Puranjana under control. So once Puranjana uh, he goes hunting, and he does not take his wife. That means he leaves his intelligence behind. And then when you leave your intelligence behind, what happens? The mind takes over, right? And then you start enjoying with all your senses. So that happens. And then when he's finished with it, he comes back home, and then his wife is totally well, she is devastated. She's lying on the floor without any bedding, and she's not eaten anything. That means she is very in disaster. That means the intelligence is now rebelling. And then Puranjana becomes very sad, and then he uh, pacifies his wife. Pacifies. That means the human being, after he enjoys so many things with his senses, and all his senses are, he enjoys, and after that he feels so bad that what have I done, and like that Puranjana feels, what have I done? I have left my wife behind. So like that he starts. Then the soul starts listening to the intelligence. So like that, the pacifies. He pacifies his wife, pacifies the intelligence like that, and then he is again back trying to enjoy his body, and in this way, time flies. And then one day in the chapter number 27, you see Chandavega. Chandavega is nothing but time personified. Vega is like the flow. So time personified is Chandavega, and he has a daughter called Kalakanya. Kalakanya means nothing but old age. So in this, Narad Muni is talking this, right? So he's telling Kalakanya once approached me to get married to her. And I said, no, I'm a brahmachari. I will not marry you. And in this way, Kalakanya left. And this is, she comes to Puranjana also. And now Kalakanya is looking for a husband. Kalakanya is unmarried. And then Chandavega is looking for who to marry this girl to. And then he marries her with Prajvara. Now this Prajvara is the fever which a person gets at the end of his life. So at the end of his life, Srila Prabhupada says the body temperature is sometimes 107 degrees. Then the person dies. So this way, this is Prajvara. So Prajvara marries Kalakanya. So when your old age is Kalakanya, and she's married to this Prajvara. So they attack this Kalakanya and Chandavega, they attack this city of 9 gates. That means the body. And then there is a snake with 5 hoods in in this palace, who is protecting this palace of 9 gates. And what is that snake we are talking about? 5 hoods is the Pancha Prana which we have. So it's a total allegory. This whole story is like, it is telling about our body, how we are in this body, trapped in this body. So he's trying to defend. This snake with 5 hoods is trying to defend. But then finally, they take over. Chandavega and Kalakanya and Prajvara take over, and then Puranjana leaves his body. So when he leaves his body, he's thinking of his wife. He's thinking of his wife. He leaves his body, so he becomes a woman in his next life. And she that is Puranjan now, is a woman, and her name is Vaidarbhi. She becomes the daughter of King Vidarbha. And she, now you can see that this, when let's say we are remembering who we are remembering, our intelligence, if Krishna is in our intelligence, or some sukruti we have done in our life. Sukruti is devotional sukruti we have done in our life, something like that. Then we get a birth, which is in that birth we will get a guru. So in this birth she gets a guru. So she is a disciple, we can say, and then she marries this Malaya Dhwaja king, and this Malaya Dhwaja king we can refer to is as guru in this story. So then this is how they live. And then after the death of her husband, that is Malaya Dhwaja, one day he leaves his body. And when that happens, she is devastated. She doesn't know what to do. She is crying and moaning, and that time her very old friend, when Puranjana was there, Puranjana had a friend called Avidnyata. So that friend again comes here. And this friend is saying, you don't remember me? From your last time I am with you all the time. And who is Avidnyata? None other than the super soul. The super soul doesn't leave the soul anywhere, all the time follows the soul. So even from Puranjana's time, his friend Avidnyata again comes back here, and then he instructs. The super soul instructs the soul. That is, super soul instructs the princess Vaidarbhi. So then Vaidarbhi is instructed, and she goes home back to Godhead. And this happens. Narad Muni is telling the story. Prachina Parishad didn't get any clue. He was saying, what are you saying? I didn't understand anything. And then in chapter 29, Narad Muni again explains the entire thing, giving spiritual explanation. And then he directly explained how the transmigration takes place of the soul from here to there, from there to there. The moment Prachina Parishad heard this, he immediately left and renounced the kingdom. He did not even wait for his 10 sons to come back. He just said, no, this is it. I have to go. So you can see this is the power of preaching. Narad Muni's preaching is so powerful that immediately Prachina Parishad immediately left, and he went and he renounced. So then here the Prachetas are still, they just come out of the lake. When they came out, they saw that the vegetation was so much, they couldn't even step out also because of so much of trees have grown. So they got so angry and they just looked at the trees, and the trees started burning. The moment this happened, the Lord came and gave darshan. He says, stop, this is enough. You can stop this. And then actually Brahmaji pacified them. Brahmaji first comes. He pacified them. And then actually the Lord had told that you will marry. I know why you have done this tapasya, and I bless you that you will get a very wonderful wife, because I am very pleased with your cooperation. So you see, this is what is we have to learn from here, that the 10 prachetas also were together like one body all the time. They did the same activity together. So they were always together. So this togetherness, this uh, being together all the time, and compromising all the small things which are immaterial, and then sticking on together. This is what is required in devotional service. We should not see the small misgivings of others, and we should be always willing to compromise all these things and staying together. And this was what the Lord liked about the Prachetas. And he said that you will get a wonderful wife. And sure enough, Brahmaji, when he saw the trees being destroyed, being burnt, he came down, pacified them, and then he gave the one daughter to the daughter of the trees, and her name was Marisha, and she was given to the Prachetas. So the Prachetas then uh, gave birth to Daksha. So this Daksha, who was killed during the Yajna by Veerabhadra, who was, you remember, just now we spoke earlier, he then was reborn again from Marisha. And then he would now fill up the entire universe. So now he married Asakni and he had 60 daughters and 13 of them were given to Kashyap. Then we know who was that, who were his daughters this time. Last time, you know, this time, who were his daughters? You know, Aditi, Diti, and all that.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So they were his daughters and they were given to Kashyapa Muni. And this is how the entire world filled up with the descendants of Daksha. Then the Prachetas, they were blessed by the Lord that you all will rule for 1,000,000 celestial years. They were blessed by the Lord like that. After which, you will renounce, you will go to the forest. They went to the forest, then they practiced again, they practiced austerities, and there they met Narad Muni again. And because earlier they had met Lord Shiva, now they met Narad Muni, who instructed them how to perform devotional service. And that, and they had learnt already from Lord Shiva the Rudra Gita. So finally they attained Krishna. So this is how we conclude Canto 4. Thank you all for patiently listening. Sorry for the interruption. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः. Please forgive me if there are any mistakes or misgivings from my side.
Hare Krishna, Mother.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
accept my humble obeisances. I mean, wow, I would say wow, kudos, everything. Like you remembered so many characters. I do not know how you remember all of these characters.
No, I have the notes, Mataji. I have the
But
notes.
still, that flow was uninterrupted. Amazing, amazing. I mean, really kudos to you for this session.
Thank you,
you so
Mataji.
much. I can't, just now you told so many stories, I still cannot recollect so many names. You're just flowing like a pravah, like, just fluent river, like, flowing smoothly. Such a lovely, this we can hear like uh, for hours together. I mean, Bhagavatam is something like, all the characters are amazing. It's
Isn't it?
like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
like,
like, I was always attracted to stories. So that's
yeah,
why.
yes.
Otherwise,
Yes, yes, Mataji. It's so wonderfully, you're doing it so nicely. I mean, such a flow. I mean,
oh,
I'm just
Mataji,
amazed.
thank you so much for your blessings. But actually, uh, thank you all very much. But actually, I'm reading from my notes. It looks as
But
if I'm
still,
talking very much.
no, but still it is a fluent one. Even if I read from my notes, I will stutter and stammer. But anyways,
No,
thank
no,
you so
no,
very much. And I
not at
just
all.
have one
We saw
question
that in
about the
the
Daksha.
Bhakti Vinod.
Yes, Mataji. Please carry on. Yeah. No,
No, we saw
Daksha.
in your Bhakti Vinod Thakur's presentation. You were also very, very good. Very nicely you gave.
Thank you, Mother. And the Daksha,
Yeah.
in Daksha's story, the first time he had 16 daughters, the last daughter was Sati, and then he lost his head because of the Veerabhadra, like, he beheaded
Yes.
him, and then he got a goat's head.
Yes.
And then he started glorifying Shiva, and then the Rudram Chamakam, all that came at that time, I think, when the first Daksha, right? Because the glorification of Lord Shiva, this is called Rudram and Chamakam in South India. They do that
Okay.
shloka
Yeah.
recitation. And then the second time the Daksha came, he came. You just said, but I cannot still recollect. You just said to whom he was born.
Marisha.
Marisha. Okay, that was Marisha was a female character or a male character?
She was female, no, married to the 10 Prachetas,
Oh, so she
the
was female.
10 boys. She was married, one, like We have Draupadi married to the 5 Pandavas, like that.
Yeah,
The
the 10
10
Prachetas.
Prachetas were married to one Marisha. Marisha
And
was
then
actually
this
she was
Daksha,
a daughter of one of the celestial names, that is one of the Apsaras, and she was abandoned, and the trees protected her, and
oh, I see.
that's how
Yes.
she
So
became
I
the
read
daughter of
this,
the
but I cannot still remember like King Vena and so many things, like, you know. So this Daksha was a reincarnation of the first Daksha, right?
Yes, reborn.
Reborn. Okay.
Earlier he was a Manasaputra of Brahmaji, so he did not come out from any womb, but because of the offense he did to Lord Shiva, he had to
Then he
take
had to
birth
take
from a
birth.
womb of a mother.
Thank you so much, Mother.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, it was the same reason na, that was briefed to Kunti Maharani ji also.
Mataji?
After marriage of Draupadi with Pandavas. Prachitas getting married. It was the same example, na? It was briefed to Kunti Maharani also.
I didn't get your question, Mataji. Sorry.
Okay.
What you said? What you said?
No, it was just an extension of Lalita Priya Mataji's question. Yeah.
Okay, that how Draupadi married the Pandavas, is it? Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
yeah. It was the same example given na, as Draupadi was about to marry with 5 male candidates. So it was the example set, na? It was briefed to Kunti
Yeah.
Maharani also. Yeah.
Yeah, correct, Mataji. So how Draupadi also was married to the 5 Pandavas. They were
Yeah.
always together. And then actually Draupadi had asked Lord Shiva for a benediction in her previous life. And she had said, I want a husband who has this, I want a husband who has this, who is most powerful, who is most like truthful. Or like that, she asked for 5 qualities and 5 times. So Lord Shiva said that you will get 5 husbands in this way. She was benedicted.
Yeah.
Thank you much.
Hare Krishna, Mother.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So nice. I think your understanding is so nice, Mother, because couple of things, right? King Prithu and the Indra, I didn't know that intricacies, but you explained so nicely. Both were not partial, right? King Prithu is he's a Shakti Vesha avatar, and
Okay.
Indra also, it happened to be like that, right? So at the same, and that's why the 100th was stopped. There was no
Yes.
need,
No
right?
need.
Because God anyway appeared, right? So all the
Yes.
desires fulfilled. That was very nice, and
So
the
it
nice.
says also there that 100 sacrifice immediately when Brahmaji pacified him, immediately he took the Avabhrita bath. Avabhrita bath is the bath which you take, the snan you should take after the yajna is completed. So before he even completed the yajna, he took the bath. So that means I am stopping the yajna.
Yeah, again, the explanations are, the explanation is when the purpose of yajna is to get the Lord. When the Lord himself was appeared, Brahma was there.
Correct.
So it's again Brahmana Patnis, right? It can go in a different direction, similar, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
this when Lord is achieved, everything is achieved.
Achieved.
And that King Prithu's, he is being Shakti Vesa avatar, and he understood that, but whatever he wanted, he got that. I think that is a
Yes.
good explanation. And the other explanation is the 2 times Prachetas, right? So that was also nice, nice explanation give. Thank you, Mother. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Very
Hare
wonderfully,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank
बहुत
you.
अच्छा.
Thank you. All
Hare
blessings of
Krishna,
Srila
Mataji,
Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam. Very wonderful, really
Thank you,
excellent.
Mataji.
Thank you for giving us this knowledge. I really admire the way you say, and it's very helpful for us now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. All Srila Prabhupada's mercy, Mataji.
Hare
I am
Krishna
nothing.
Mataji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Hare
So
Krishna.
wonderful class, Mataji. So wonderful class. I'm eagerly waiting for this canto. Now अभी हम third canto करेंगे, फिर जल्दी से fourth canto आए. So interesting stories and too much interesting, Mataji. Thank you so much for
Thank
this
you.
class. Hari
Thank
Bol.
you. Hare Bol. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, you will be sending us the
Yes,
link,
I will
right?
send. Right away.
Yeah,
I will
thank
send.
you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Mataji, every day we are listening your part 3 episode.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
I'm
Honored.
revisiting every day YouTube link. Yeah.
Instead of mine, you can hear, I'll tell you what. You go to prabhupadvani.org. Okay?
Yes.
prabhupadvani.org. If you
Yeah.
type like that, then you will get the audio of Srimad Bhagavatam. Amala Bhakta Prabhu. Amala Bhakta Prabhu has written, he has spoken this audio of the entire Bhagavatam. And you can hear that every day. You can hear little from whichever chapter you want, whichever canto you want. It is so nice. I always hear this because you will get accustomed to all the names and the stories and all that, prabhupadvani.org.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji feeling that when we had been to Singapore, we used to be at Mustafa Market, Universal Studio. So why I missed you, don't know. Haribol.
Oh God, you should have come home next time.
Yeah, Haribol.
Okay then.
Thank you very much for nicely bringing out all these complex things in a story form. Yes, it is very, very difficult to remember all the names. But if we keep on reading that, then most of the names we will remember.
Yeah, we'll be familiar. Thank you, Prabhu. Your mercy. Please, everybody, please give me your blessings so that I can progress in my devotional service. That's all I need. Thank you all very much.
But after this, we will be starting with Charu Prabhuji's classes.
Yes.
That means next weekend onwards, on both the days, Charu Prabhuji will be taking the classes. On day one, Srimad Bhagavatam, and on day two, the Yoga Sutra classes. I'm sure you like those classes, and please see the communication by the Charu Prabhuji, as I have already told you. Please study those the chapters 1 to 7 in Canto 1, so that the understanding will be much better. And thereafter, he'll give the assignments every time, and you study only the Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. You don't have to refer to other Bhagavatam, because that will be troublesome actually, because the explanation should be much different. We should go by this way only. And on day two, the Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that is very, very different. It is something like Narada Bhakti Sutra. There are total of 195 sutras, Yoga Sutras, and total words used are only 1200. And in that, everything has been summarized, summed up. So that is very, very interesting, and he'll be covering the explanations of two authors. So this is all. Another thing I want to give you a good news only. My son's marriage has been fixed for 18th of November.
Haribol.
Congratulations, Prabhuji.
Hari bol,
Congratulations.
Prabhuji.
Haribol.
Congratulations.
Prabhuji.
Haribol Prabhu, congratulations.
Come, most welcome, Bhubaneswar. I'll look after you.
Yes, sure.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Congratulations, Prabhuji. Haribol.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Congratulations.
So 18th November is the marriage, and reception on 21st. Here in Bhubaneswar, both in Bhubaneswar, marriage will be in the Eastern Temple only.
Very nice, Prabhuji. So many congratulations. So many congratulations.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. So now if we don't have any questions or comments, then we can conclude the class with the Nrsimha prayers.
There's no question, then I can do the Nrsimha prayers. Prabhuji, can I start with Nrsimha prayers? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji, you are not loud.
Oh, I'm not loud?
No.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, Mataji, yes.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladena Dadayine. Praladena Dadayine. Hiranyakashipurvaksha. Hiranyakashipurvaksha. Shilatankanakalaye. Shilatankanakalaye. Ito nirsimho parato nirsimho. Ito nirsimho parato nirsimho. Yato yato yamitato nirsimho. Yato yato yamitato nirsimho. Vahi nirsimho hridaye nirsimho. Vahi nirsimho hridaye nirsimho. Narasimhamadim sharanam prapade. Narasimhamadim sharanam prapade. Tava kara kamalavare naka madhuta shringa dalita hiranyakashipo tanu bringa keshavadrita narariyopa jaya jagadisha hare jaya jagadisha hare jaya jagadisha hare tava kara kamalavare naka madhuta shringa dalita hiranyakashipo tanu bringa keshavadrita narhariropa jaya jagadisha hare jaya jagadisha hare jaya jagadisha hare jaya nrsimhadev jaya nrsimhadev jaya nrsimhadev jaya nrsimhadev jaya lakshmi narasimha jaya prahlad maharaj jaya lakshmi narasimha jaya prahlad maharaj jaya jaya prabhupada 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 jaya jaya prabhupada भक्ति विघ्न विनाशक श्री लक्ष्मी नृसिंह भगवान की जय श्री प्रहलाद नृसिंह भगवान की जय श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय हरे कृष्ण थैंक यू
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Prabhuji.
Dandat pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare
थैंक यू
Krishna.
प्रभुजी थैंक यू प्रभु
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Mataji. Thank you,
Mahat
Mataji.
Pranam.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.